So here's the thing about being white passing that nobody ever tells you about. And let me clarify before I continue any further, and that is, I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that white passing people have it easier whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that we experience different things, and I think we can all agree on that. We do experience different things. Um, so my friend Melanie and I were having a conversation the other day, and her boyfriend, who's black, was saying, like, oh, you know what? I don't think racism is really that big of a deal anymore, which kind of shows that he doesn't see what's happening in the news. But he was saying, I just haven't personally, experienced anything. Like I haven't experienced any firsthand bigotry that was like in my face. There have been things here and there, but it's really, really been spaced out and it's just isolated incidents, yada, yada, yada. But Melanie, my white friend, she brought up an excellent point and she was like, oh, honey, this happens behind closed doors now. um, Racism didn't go away, it just changed its shape, you know. Um, and being white passing, you're gonna have a lot of moments where it's gonna be like, you think you're having a good time, your coworkers are like loosening up, and most likely a shit ton of your coworkers are white, especially if you're living in the South like me. Um, and jokes back and forth, yada yada. It's just, it's gonna be a good time, and then out of nowhere, it's gonna be like, wait a minute, did I just show up to a fucking Klan meeting? Because everything is gonna get real racist real quick. It's like they get really comfortable behind doors and they think everybody is, oh, hello, my white brethren. And they just they unzip their pants and then whip out their big racist cock and just flop it around in everybody's face. And it's real weird, and it's just like, you know, you feel like an undercover agent of sorts. And I think at one point, it was when I was working at a restaurant, like I outright said, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize I showed up to a fucking Klan meeting. And they were like, oh, it's just a joke. And I was like, yeah, you just talked about Spix and Mexican heritage over here. So if we could not, you know, because I don't think HR would like to hear that. Or they would love to hear that. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's just a really interesting thing. And it's just like, you have a lot more moments where it's just like you end up in these situations where it's just like, do I come out about you know and that's the privilege right there, is that you have the option to be like, do I come out? Although sometimes people are very racist towards me, but for in an inaccurate way. Like, people either think I'm Italian or I'm Japanese. There's nothing in between. I don't understand it, but I have been called so many racial, like, Asian slurs, and it's to the point where at some point, I was like offended. I was like, I am offended as an Asian person. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not Asian. Um, but yeah, it's just a funny thing. It's just a weird thing that you have to just, I don't know. For the most part, I'm usually like, surprise, bitch. Little life things.